Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
You know, I feel sorry for people who don't have dogs. I hear they have to pick up food they drop on the floor all by themselves. Morning, everybody. We start a brand new week. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Wow, what a great Patriots Day we had last week on 4th of July, Independence Day. And a good morning to you and yours. I'm Zeb Bell, kind of feeling like dragged through a keyhole this morning, Zeb Bell. Wow, keep me awake, make a lot of calls, and of course, this is Zeb at the Ranch, and of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attaboy, Wheels. And by the way, on the pledge, folks, come on in the morning. Let's all be patriots, and we should have to turn people away for that. Come on. Hey, don't forget, K&R Rental brings us the weather, and they're at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. And they've got the best, underline that word, best tools and equipment for you to finish any kind of a construction project or whatever. Not sure what you need? Give them a call. They can help. Roger can tell you, and the whole crew, 678-3122. They're located right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Easy to find, easy to work with. You better get a hold of them today. K&R Rental. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's going to be a rather stormy day for today, and then we're going to be warming up and calming down as we make our way through the rest of the week. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting isolated rain showers and thunderstorms by this afternoon. Some of these storms could produce small hail, gusty wind, and heavy rain. We are expecting a high of 74, 80% chance of rain showers by this afternoon. By tonight, everything calming down, partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow is going to be nice, expecting sunny skies with a high of 83, slight breeze out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 56. By Wednesday and Thursday, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the low 90s. And as we look ahead towards the weekend, mostly sunny skies in mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Gina, thank you very much. She does an absolute number 10 job. I'll tell you what, top of the pile. Hey, we appreciate it. K&R Rental, of course, with the best tools and equipment for you, all your gardening tools, lawn equipment tools, everything you need to finish a project at K&R Rental. You be sure and get a hold of them today. They're at 256 South 600 West of Heyburn, and the number to call is 678-3122. Holy cow, you talk about rain. Last night at about, 4 o'clock when that storm hit, woo-hoo-hoo, with the hail and then the rain, and wow. I mean, I don't know how it was in your respective area, but right here in little old Murtaugh, it really dumped on us. Caller, I'll be there in a minute. Stand by. Don't forget Daryl's Cleaners, and they're located at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Oh, my goodness. If you don't have time to do the washing, they will. They will wash, dry, fold, and iron all your clothes, just like Mama used to do. And I'll tell you what, you'll appreciate them. And they can take all your jeans and put a nice crease in them, dry clean them, all your sports jackets, ladies' dresses, everything come back to you brand spanking new. Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. You see them today. A couple of birthdays, and then we'll take our first call. First of all, we missed last week on Friday because we weren't on the air. Actually, we weren't on the air Thursday or Friday. Fred Preston, if you're listening, my dear, dear friend Fred Preston had a birthday on July 5th. Happy birthday to the world's greatest fisherman right there. And, of course, don't forget today, and I know he's listening to Kimberly right now, sitting at the kitchen table, Gerald Sievers is having a birthday. So happy birthday to all of you. Congratulations. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, why does it take a natural disaster to bring people together? I'd like to tell you about one thing that really brought people together, and that was back in 1984 when the Oakley Dam was in danger, and they had to release a whole bunch of water. And they got a hold of the Corps of Engineers, and they said, well, let us study this. I don't know exactly what the drama was there, but they didn't do anything. But one man, Rex Jarrett, took it upon himself to organize heavy equipment and everything to build a canal, to build a big canal from there to Burley to dump into the Snake River. And I've never seen people come together like they did during that time.
Well, Keith, the answer is really simple. You asked the question, why then? Well, they need each other. That's why then. When people need each other, they put the politics aside and they put all the other grotesque items of interest aside, and they work together, roll up their sleeves, and they get the job done. That's what America's all about. But we're seeing such a fractioning in this country, and I'm going to lay the blame right at the Democratic Party. They're creating more of an ice pick between everything. I hope we don't have a large-scale event that everybody's got to work together, because I don't think they will.
You know, you're exactly right. And I thought about this California earthquake. You know, the people that live in Central California are, you know, the salt of the earth.
Yep.
Like you said before, many people who love each other and help their neighbors and everything else. But by golly, in California, and I know this for a fact, but even in a subdivision, people don't even met their next-door neighbor.
Well, and that's something you and I can't control. It's something that we can't change or alter. It has to be done with their own personalities. Keith, you brought up a really good subject, but it all stems to the point where we are Americans, those of us that are citizens, and I think if something does happen, I think we can all come together. I've got to get a commercial in, Keith. Thank you so much. Want to remind everybody about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley for all. Underline the word all, your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Absolutely. And later on this week, I think you're going to be cranking that air conditioner up, and so you better make sure you've got the clean air filters for that air conditioner. They've got them right there at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. Open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. The best, Ramsey Heating and Electric. Oh, and when I use that word best, oh my, I'm talking also about Denny's Restaurant. Are they ever delicious food items on the menu? Great people serving you. You're going to love it. They're located at 611 North Overland in Burley, and they are America's Diner. And they've got another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all the time, all the desserts, everything for you and your family at Denny's Restaurant. Stop in. It's the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Denny's Restaurant. Yeah, betcha. America's Diner. Hey, Wheels, could we have a good word for the Silver State Stampede?
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, roars into the Elko County Fairgrounds July 12, 13, and 14. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro rodeo riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. Action kicks off on Friday with a delicious tri-tip dinner for just $10. Old West bronc riding, the Calcutta, mutton busting, PRCA rodeo action, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. And on Saturday, show your support with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And on Sunday, round up the gang for the Family Day at the fairgrounds for even more rodeo action. Get your advance tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber Office. The best family entertainment this side of the Rio Grande, the Silver State Stampede. For more information, visit them at silverstatestampede.com.
Oh, my goodness sakes. I want to talk a little bit about the tremendous, and I'm going to underline that word, tremendous Independence Day salute on the 4th of July from Washington, D.C., and our president and this current administration. I have heard a lot of the naysayers, some of which live in the Twin Falls area and write their funny elitist attitudes, and they have a right to their own opinion, but it always seems like they will do something, say something, or act in a way to denigrate this president and what he's doing, i.e., this man by the name of Chris Houston. He had a editorial, if you want to call it such, in the Times News yesterday. And when he gave his so-called evaluation of the 4th of July Independence Day program back in Washington, D.C., he said he was underwhelmed by it. Really? Really underwhelmed? Well, let me tell you something, Chris. You probably haven't been that many places that many times, etc. I don't know that for a fact. But I'll tell you what, I watched that 4th of July salute with my lovely bride. And I thought it was outstanding and oh so very patriotic. And to the NRB naysayers, by the way, NRB stands for Not Real Bright, it just absolutely was, I thought, dynamic. When the service anthems were played and with the flyovers and everything, anybody that is American, you had to bristle with pride and just think, oh my goodness, how well done. And President Trump's speech was not about President Trump. It wasn't about re-election. It wasn't about vote for me. It was about patriotism and our country. You know, President Trump said a couple of things in that speech that are so true. And I want to get your opinion on this. If you didn't have a chance to see it, you really missed something. I watched it and I was awestruck. But President Trump said, and it's really, really true, there is nothing America cannot do. And this country was made by Almighty God. And I believe that, and I will fight for that. And the Democrats and the liberal loons that think differently, I think they've kind of leaned over the tip of their skis too far because they absolutely don't understand the value of patriotism here in this United States. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. And boy, oh boy, are they busy and waiting to serve you. They're located at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And all you got to do is call them for an appointment. If you're aching and paining, they can help. They will help. Absolutely. They've got great physical therapists there by the name of Nick Greenwell heading them up. And then all the staff. They know how to help you. Please give them a call, 678-1191, the best. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, President Trump's speech was excellent. It was the furthest thing from a political speech that I've ever seen. And I've noticed during his term, and when he gives a speech, he refers to America as, and his administration as we, like in we the people. Unlike his previous administration, he said the word I don't know how many thousand times during his administration. President Trump is not about President Trump. President Trump is about the American people.
Well, let me tell you something, Doug. I don't know if you had a chance to read that 4 columns of really mishmash garbage by Chris Houston in the Times News, but there was one little paragraph that left me a little bit more than irritated. He said, "So personally, all the military muscle flexing this week left me a little cold. I thought America was better than that."
I did not get a chance to read it, but that right there tells me this man hates this president and his administration more than he loves this country.
I didn't see any muscle flexing. I didn't see any better than thou. I just saw on the 4th of July, Independence Day, a patriotic program that was put together. And I got to tell you, and I'm not ashamed of this at all, somebody wants to ridicule me, go ahead. But when they played the service anthems, whether it was for the United States Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the Army, whatever, I cried because I've had many friends die in service to our country in all 4 branches. And I'm going to tell you something. For this man to belittle it and say, "Oh, I thought it was underwhelming," I just don't understand.
I don't either, Zim. President Trump honored America. He honored the soldiers that have fallen to make this country like it is. All of the blood from all of the soldiers that have died to protect and to bring this country into fruition, like the revolution, all of those who give up their fortune and their livelihood and their family to break away from tyranny and create this great nation.
Yeah.
These people that naysay it need to go and read true history and learn what happened.
Yeah, there was another paragraph I want to read to you, a quote from the so-called Houston. He's one of the elitists, and he said he was talking about the show of the military on the Independence Day program, and he said, "This we were taught in school is what totalitarianism countries do. They bluster and intimidate with force. Americans can lead by the quiet certitude of the rightness of our cause. We don't have to do this." You know, I'm adding that last paraphrase on there because it goes on and on. But I didn't see this as being kind of a Hitleristic type approach to be strong-arming anybody. I saw it as a pure patriotic program.
Exactly. It was. And what really got me, not one national television program nation or company even televised it. You had to find it on C-SPAN if you wanted to watch the parade and all of that.
Yeah.
Not one.
This hatred for Donald Trump is to the point where I think the loons and the people that just want to sow discourse 24/7, 365, they're not happy unless they're denigrating America. You can see that on any and all news stories regarding the illegal aliens coming into this country, or the people that are attacking us for not paying off all the student debt, or people that are going to sit there and say, oh, well, you have to just assume that America's a bad country. Everything we've done in the past is bad, so we're not as good as we used to be or never were. I'm sick of this, and I'm not going to allow it on my program.
They hate this country. What they really hate about President Trump is he is upsetting the gravy train. The Joe Bidens and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Chuck Schumers that have been in government for over 50 years. President Trump is upsetting their gravy train where they can't get rich off the American people like they used to.
Yeah. When I saw at the end the Blue Angels fly in formation, as they have flown over so many events in this great country of the United States so many times, I mean, the camera work was outstanding. Even on a rainy day, the cameramen did an outstanding job. And then at the very end, of course, they had the great songs that absolutely play on our patriotism. Wow. All I can say is wow, and to the naysayers, I pity you people.
Exactly. And I know you got another caller, and we're running short on time.
All right, buddy.
I'd just like to say thank you to President Trump, and thank you to all those people that showed up in the rain.
Yes.
Filled that area. Just, it was unreal.
Absolutely.
And I want to say thanks to everybody for what you've done for the senior centers, what you do for the senior centers, and keep on doing it.
I got to run, Doug. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street. Wheels, I've got some heavy static on the line. Is it going away, or is it still there? Let me know.
I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, we had some heavy static there for a minute. Listen in your headsets. Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. I'm telling you, Dr. Bill and the rest of the crew, they're there to serve you and your animals. When maybe you've got some little kitty cat dog or a bunch of dairy cattle or horses, they need help. You want to keep them healthy, they can and they will. And this time of the year, please don't hesitate to call 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn, where they do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Hey, I want to remind you, too, guess what's coming up? Oh, my goodness, it's right around the corner, and it's the Oakley Pioneer Days. Oh, my. And a lot of the great merchants over there at Oakley Pioneer Days, like Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main Street, Hometown Grocery Store with that famous, world-famous breakfast sausage from Grandma's Recipe, and the Flatiron Steaks. They've been in business since 1924. Great family, great people at Clark's for Shopping in Oakley. And Oakley Valley Stone, 204 West Main Street in Oakley. My goodness, if you need a new fireplace, a headstone for a loved one, landscaping boulders, look no further than Oakley Valley Stone. They get the job done for you. Along with Searles at 120 North Center in Oakley. Gas, grub, and goodies open from 6 in the morning to 9 p.m. at night. Best doggone burgers and fries anywhere. And those specialty buns baked fresh every day. Knock your boots off. Delicious. Searles in Oakley. All of these merchants are saying, come on up to Oakley Pioneer Days. It's going to be a lot of fun. July 12, 13, 15, all the way through the 20th. It's going to be a lot of ripping good fun. Caller, real quick, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good morning, Zebra.
Yes.
Yummy man with the menu for the Burley Senior Center today is sweet and sour chicken, mixed vegetables, fruit, and it's cook's choice for dessert, but it'll be good.
Okay.
And for $5, you can call in and get a takeout order.
All right, Joe. Hey, listen, I certainly hope you had a great Independence Day. God bless you for calling in. The menu at the Senior Center on Oberlin. We'll send them over. Thank you so much, Joe Taylor.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, sir. Thank you. I'm going to give away some cookies right now. That's all we're talking about this morning is food, it seems like. Sophie's Chatterbox at 530 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Oh, my goodness, what a bakery. Oh, my goodness, what a restaurant. You better stop over and enjoy today. And their bakery, they can bake anything. And delicious cookies. If you are the winner, call them and let them know when you'll be in to pick up your cookies, okay? Here's the question, and the first person that has the right answer, I will give the cookies to. Who played Burt Reynolds' partner in Smokey and the Bandit? Who was the actor that played Burt Reynolds' partner in the movie Smokey and the Bandit? Give me a call real fast at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587 as I choke to death. Please give me a call right now and we'll talk about it. Give me a call. Hurry, hurry, hurry. While I'm waiting for your call, I want to also remind you about some of the great activities that are going on July 12th through the 20th at Oakley Pioneer Days. And my goodness, they're going to have that world-famous bump and rub car race starting on July 12th and 13th. Woo! It gets wild. They're going to have a great big Thursday, July 18th, Gymkhana, and then an open rodeo on July 19 and 20. Fireworks they're going to have on Saturday, July 20th. Of course, that huge Pioneer Day parade with the theme, The Best is Yet to Come. Wow, we've got a list of things that are going to go on up there at Oakley Pioneer Days. A great bunch of people serving you with a lot of fun, and that's July 12th all the way through the 20th in Oakley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Jerry Reed.
Who's this?
This is Ken out of Jerome.
What's your last name?
Waters.
Ken Waters, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Ken. I'm going to give you the cookies, but I want you to tell me what kind of a dog was he always toting around?
He had really short legs with really long ears. I don't know what kind it was.
It was a big old.
Always stepping on his ears.
It was a big old beagle.
Is that what it was?
I think so, yeah. But it was a weird dog, I'll guarantee you that. Hey, Ken Waters, you be sure and call Sophie's over there in Rupert on the Square. Tell them you're the cookie winner. We'll tell them, too, and you get over and pick them up, all right?
Okay, thanks, Eb.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day. I think that was a big beagle, wasn't it? Or was it a basset hound? Somebody call me and correct me. Beagle or basset hound, aren't they kind of related anyway? Well, give me a call. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to also remind you about our friends at Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, and 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin, and the Nampa location. And I'm telling you that they absolutely have all the heavy equipment for your lifting, digging, pushing, carrying, whatever you need done. Grading, leveling, it's all there. From the Deuce on wheel loaders and excavators to all the shapes and sizes of the Bobcats. Buying, renting, whatever, you get a hold of them today. The best Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, when it comes to, honestly, dumb, waste of time, stupidity, this ranks, I think, in the top 5 of items that we've discussed on this program. PETA, the people for ethical treatment of animals, you know, the bunch of crackpots and weirdos, I've had to fight them for a long, long time on different and various issues. I have nothing good to say, nor will I, about PETA. They are asking Canyon County, over in the Marsing area, to change the name of Chicken Dinner Road. PETA is asking Canyon County to change the name of Chicken Dinner Road because they say the people in Canyon County need to start showing compassion to chickens and respect for other species. And we shouldn't celebrate chickens as individuals being killed, chopped up, and labeled as dinner. So they've kind of put a note out, and it's got some pretty big press, that PETA is asking Canyon County to change the name Chicken Dinner Road. Now, I have some friends of mine live on Chicken Dinner Road, and asked them what their thoughts were about PETA coming in and saying that they wanted the name changed. I cannot at this juncture repeat all the verbiage that was said from these friends of mine to PETA. One can only imagine. The phone lines were a little hot. But aren't there so many other things that we could spend time on? Aren't there so many other items and issues that we spend our money on? This is absolute stupidity. And what do you want to do? Start here with the elimination of Chicken Dinner Road? It's kind of a neat name, and there's some wineries on that road that and other businesses on that road where if this were to change, they're going to have to completely obliterate all their stationery, all their addressing, all their communication as far as telling people where they're located and everything. It's absolutely ridiculous and stupid. And what are you going to do? Stop Chick-fil-A? Is that next? That's what they're aiming at. Or stop any advertising for KFC. Finger licking good! God put everything on this earth for man to use. I want to emphasize that. Look it up in your Bible if you don't believe me. Man has dominion over the earth and everything on it. And I am sick and tired of the idiocy that says, well, you can't say that anymore. You've got to take that road sign now. What? Change the sign that says Chicken Dinner Road? Because they, the perverts with PETA, they say, just like dogs, cats, and human beings, chicken feel pain and fear and value their own lives. And so we think the name should be changed. What are your thoughts on this kind of stuff? Change the name Chicken Dinner Road. Ay. Come on. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It's like I said a long time ago, you have to basically don't step around, just step over these idiots. It's not going to get any better. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Rain for Rent. Hello, Jake and the rest of the crew. My goodness sakes, they're out there and they're working hard for you. Wow, I tell you, this time of the year, all you got to do is just give them a jingle, and they're there to serve you. The most dedicated sales and service staff, and I'm telling you, they're a Reinke Diamond dealer. And Jake, I mean, they get there early in the morning, and the number to call, 438-5065. They're located at 134 South, 600 West of Paul, and believe me, they can and they will help you. And they've got those telemetry annex boxes for any pivot that you can run through your smartphone. Holy cow. Get a hold of them today. Rain for Rent, 438-5065. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, surely somebody's got an opinion about Chicken Dinner Road, for heaven's sakes. Give me a call. Hey, by the way, homemade meals and housekeeping are provided for the folks at Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living in Heyburn. We had the lovely Kelly Wiggins on the phone with us last week, and they'll even take you to your doctor's appointments to get your hair done or other appointments. And the best thing about Greystone Crossing, you're not alone. Never too big. Greystone Crossing will be home to no more than 16 residents and couples welcome. Oh my goodness, it is a wonderful, wonderful place. A very unique place for you to enjoy other folks at Greystone Crossing, just across from the fire station on 21st Street. That's on El Fresco Road. And the number to call, 650-4979. That number again, 650-4979, Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living in Heyburn. All right, come on, give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I can't believe that there's not more comments on that story. Can you imagine? They'll pick at anything. Absolutely pick at anything. Here's another story that needs to be commented on because it really bothers me, and it shows how low-class Starbucks and their management and employees acted in Tempe, Arizona. This story occurred last week. 6 police officers, I believe it was after their shift, they gathered there quite frequently to enjoy a cup of coffee. And while they were there in the Starbucks in Tempe, Arizona, and you know, it's funny, I know exactly where the Starbucks is because it's right on my route that I take when I go down to Arizona every year. I know exactly where it is. And you're saying, well, sure, there's other Starbucks. There are, but I know where this one is. One person in that Starbucks said, oh, to the management, they've got to go. Why, we can't have police in here. They've got to go. They make me feel unsafe. So the manager, with the IQ of a bicycle spoke, goes over to the police and throws the police out of the Starbucks and told the police not to come back and not be inside because it was making one of his customers feel unsafe. What a little buttercup. And this story went nationwide, and finally the CEO of Starbucks, he saw the light at the end of the tunnel. It was a train coming at him head on. He started an apology tour, and rightfully so. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, why don't they emphasize more the guy that didn't like this? I'd like to know his name and everything else, because this guy is purely un-American. These people, even though they're in there having coffee and maybe planning their day of their job, and you have somebody who cannot stand to see that, but yet they would be the first ones to call the police if they had a problem.
That's right. You know, sometimes I laugh at how, and somebody called me last week and criticized me because I keep saying that some people are really dumb or not very intelligent or NRB, not real bright. This person that complained is one of those NRBs, not real brights. You know, if somebody is in an accident, if somebody is in an altercation, somebody has been maybe bullied or beaten or robbed, you know, they're going to call the police right off the bat, and yet they say that they feel unsafe if they're sitting in the same room at a restaurant. That's ludicrous.
It certainly is, and this person should be exploited. You know, the manager should have asked them to leave. If you don't like the way the police are there, they would protect that Starbucks in a minute if there was an incident.
Well, your point is well taken. I mean, 6 cups of coffee, and as expensive as Starbucks has been and is, there's 6 cups of coffee that come in on a frequent basis and perhaps have a pastry or whatever, versus this one-time Barney Fife that was in there complaining. I'm like you. I would have said, well, sir, I'm sorry, but the police are our friends. They have as much right as citizens to come in and enjoy a cup of coffee as you do. Don't let the door hit you in the butt on the way out.
You know, this reminded me of a story a few years back of McDonald's at the one of the cities near the California border, near San Diego, and somebody came in and just started killing people. You know, the officers are there to protect you. You know, an officer, even if he doesn't have his uniform on, he's ready to go into action if there's something that's needed help.
I agree. Anytime some idiot starts berating our police officers, our firemen, our military, you're looking at the fight inside of me, and they will be condemned on this program. And to this person that enjoyed saying to the management, oh, they make me feel unsafe, tell them to get out of here, I think I would have even gone so far as to give him his money back and again told him to get out.
That's absolutely right. But I can't help but recall this incident that you had this morning in your opening category, or whatever we would call that, when you talked about the table scraps.
Yeah.
I thought about your dog, Ruby.
Yep.
I think you ought to put her a place at the table.
Ruby has her place, and we're secondary to that place. Got to run, Keith. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Right now, it's time for our weather, and then we'll take some more calls. Come on, it's Monday. I know you got a little bit of the tired blahs from last week. I know we were traveling a lot. I got to admit, all I see is white lines. Zip, zip, zip. I did a lot of driving. Hey, don't forget our friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. Oh, my. I urge you to contact them if you're noticing any diminishment in your hearing. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and Dr. Hunsaker are there to serve you. And, you know, like I said, don't put it off, because hearing is extremely important. They help me with mine. They can help you. Please call them today for an appointment. 312-0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's going to be a rather stormy day for today, and then we're going to be warming up and calming down as we make our way through the rest of the week. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting isolated rain showers and thunderstorms by this afternoon. Some of these storms could produce small hail, gusty wind, and heavy rain. We are expecting a high of 74, 80% chance of rain showers by this afternoon. By tonight, everything calming down, partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow is going to be nice, expecting sunny skies with a high of 83, slight breeze out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 56. By Wednesday and Thursday, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the low 90s. And as we look ahead towards the weekend, mostly sunny skies in mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Rain.
Woo, going to get warm. My goodness, deodorant sales are going to go sky high. Hey, the weather brought to you by our friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Oh, good people serving you with your hearing health. Call that number, 312-0957. Again, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Time for your calls, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Why are you and I and American citizens in general being made out to be the bad guys with immigration, illegal immigration into this country? We are not, but the Democratic left is trying to paint the picture that we're the bad guys. Wait a minute. I sit here in my radio studio that I pay through the nose, through all and for all the bills connected with this program. It is part of the cost of doing business. I pay for it. I do not like my money going down to the border to buy diapers, or food, or bottled water, or medicine, or whatever, for someone or someones that do not belong here because they're not citizens here. Why am I being ridiculed, and you're being ridiculed and minimalized because we're not spending enough money to help them that are illegally here, and we're paying their way? The being here and the chaos on the border, I think, was summed up best by President Trump when he said, "Don't come here illegally, problem solved." That's the bottom line. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yeah, Zeb, that deal just upsets me to no end. They say we are detaining them people. We're not detaining them, we're holding them. They're free to go back to their country. All they've got to do is say, I want to go back, and they can walk out of there anytime they want. They want to come into our country illegally so they can rip us off. I don't believe in giving anything to them for welfare of any kind, any shape, any form, anyhow. I think that anybody that sneaks into our country illegally ought to be sent back, and if they come back again, punished severely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't mean leaving them in this country and paying their bills and providing for them. It means sending them back and make it to where they can never come back under no circumstances.
Absolutely. You know, Jerry, I absolutely... Wait a minute, Jerry. When you make a stop, when you stop in your sentences, you make a break, let me get in here a little bit. Number one, you're 100% right, but it's only going to get worse because Congress isn't doing their job, not doing their job at all in funding and trying to find the answers on this immigration crisis, and it is an immigration crisis, of illegals coming into our country and barnstorming the rest of us that we have to pay for. I agree with you 100%.
And we have had a problem with this for over 30 years. It needs to be solved today. Not next week, not next month. And all this propaganda and phony baloney that they're blowing up people's behinds is just ridiculous.
I agree.
It's coming across.
I agree with it.
That way it should be shut down by the news media immediately and the truth told.
All right, my friend. Thank you, Jerry. I knew you'd call, and I knew you'd tell it like it is. You always do. God bless you, man. Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Caller number 2, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb. I was going to call you about something else, but I'll save it for another day. The Democrats scream, oh, there's not enough toothbrushes and not enough bars of soap and no poor babies down there, those children. And then the Border Patrol say, we have to show them how to brush their teeth because they've never seen a toothbrush. And we have to show them how to use a bar of soap because they've never seen a bar of soap. Okay.
No. Your point is so well taken, but yet why am I, and you, and everybody else in this country, why are we being deemed the bad people because we're not willing to spend through the nose to help support somebody that shouldn't be here in the first place? My gallon of the milk of human kindness is empty, and it's in the refrigerator, and I'm not going to fill it up. I'm sick and tired of paying for people that just barge in and say, I'm here, pay my way. No more.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we're having to buy toothbrushes for people who don't even know what they are.
Well, let me ask you this real quick.
You know, if I'm gonna give you $20, I'm gonna hand it to a vet who I know is a vet and looks like he's struggling.
I agree 1,000%. I am sick and tired of being railed as a hate monger and a bigot because I don't want those people here. Once they get to the holding facilities, they know that you and I are on the hook, and we're going to spend millions and millions of our tax dollars to buy them Colgate and a toothbrush, and I don't want to.
Exactly. And as far as separating children from their parents, I want to know 1,000% that is their parents. I don't want to just say, oh, well, that's my daddy, that's my child, and you're actually a sex trafficker, and kids are scared to death to not say it's my, you know.
Absolutely. I always appreciate your comments. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate it.
I'll call back another day.
All right. God bless. Thank you. Caller, I've got about 2 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. These people that are coming in here illegally, men, women, and children, are nothing more than weapons to be used against us to bring this country down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't agree more. We've got too many...
If we keep letting this thing go the way it is, there's going to be so many of them here, they're going to break the economy, and this country is being watched by the enemies out there, and when we get weak enough, if that happens, they're going to attack.
Yeah, but I just don't see where Tony and Mary and Zeb and Deanne and the rest of us should be chastised and said, oh, you're a bigot and a hate monger. You don't want those people here. I don't want those people here. I don't want to take care of them. It is not my fault what happened to them. It is not my fault their country is absolutely an upside-down turvy-tot because they have no leadership. That's not my fault. I can't be all things to all people, and I can't see lowering and lessening my standing in the community to help people that absolutely are barging in and demanding that we take care of them.
Well, we've got so many peaceniks in this country. They figure they're going to be up and about the trouble that they are causing for the rest of us. They don't know they're going to be up to their eyeballs in the same problems we are.
Absolutely. Tony, I always appreciate your call because you tell it like it is, and I hope you had a great Independence Day with your family. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Zeb.
You bet. Bye, buddy. Thank you. I want to remind you about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations, boy, they were busy leading up to the Independence Day break. I know that for a fact. All 7 locations trying to get all the tires all tightened up on all the vehicles so you could get out of town. I'll tell you. Whoa, stop in for the best of tires for your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever. And then don't forget, too, the best in brake service. I really, really want to brag on their brake service. Absolutely the best by the best trained technicians. Front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to take a little break and send it over to Wheels in just a moment. Coming up next hour, we're going to be talking about some of these critical topics with Richard Manning. And then at 9:30, we're going to be talking about the economy with one of the best in the world, Dr. Michael Busler. All of that coming up on Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, old buddy, old pal, take it away. Oh, good morning, good morning. Kind of hard to get back in the grind, isn't it, on Monday morning after many of you had a 4-day weekend. I did too. Spent a lot of time behind that steering wheel, I'll tell you that. Woo! Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires. And, of course, don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, this good word for Western Waste.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, and if you want to get on the route service to have your garbage picked up weekly, it is so easy. All you have to do is just call the number, 734-6969. Got it? I'll say it again, 734-6969. They'll be there. They'll be there, and your garbage is gone. It's out of there. They're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services. Want to remind you, too, you know what, Wheels? I'd really appreciate it if you'd tell us about the Silver State Stampede.
Follow the crowd of family entertainment at its best. The 2019 Silver State Stampede roars into Elko July 12, 13, and 14 at the Elko County Fairgrounds. Kicking off this fast-paced weekend is the annual Tri-Tip Dinner on Friday, along with mutton busting, Old West bronc riding, PRCA rodeo action, the always popular Ring of Fear, and new this year, mini bull riding. The fun continues on Saturday and Sunday with more PRCA rodeo action, and you can dance the night away with the music of Moonshine Outlaws. Get your advance tickets today at Roy's, J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber of Commerce. Don't forget the best in the West is waiting for you at the Silver State Stampede, July 12, 13, and 14. For more information, visit us at silverstatestampede.com. Head to the Elko County Fairgrounds for the one, the only Silver State Stampede. Rope and ride on the wild side.
Absolutely. And by the way, too, we want to extend our great words of what do you say about somebody that does something so great for families and helping families? And I'm talking about Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward. So community-oriented and so helpful to you and your family. And when there's the passing of a loved one, they are always there with the best possible support and comfort. And, you know, they always uphold the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff. And the number 436-5636. And Joel also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. It's Monday. Oh, my. And especially after a great Independence Day weekend, I can't wait to talk to this man. He's a friend of this program, president of Americans for Limited Government. Hello, Rick Manning. How are you?
To be honest, sir, I'm still trying to get a hold of him.
Oh, dear.
For some reason they can't find him.
All right, well, keep trying, please.
Will do, sir.
That's not a good sign, and normally he's always there, so I hope everything is all okay back there. While we have just a moment, I want to remind you, too, I had a couple of calls this weekend, and they said, where's that guy from Sportsman's Warehouse going to be fishing next? We're going to follow him. I don't know. Josh Anderson with the Old Fishing Hole, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Every Wednesday at 10:06, Josh is either standing on the side of a river or in the river or at a lake or out in a boat, whatever, and gives an excellent fishing report. So that's all coming up on Wednesdays at 10:06. The Old Fishing Hole, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse. Let me check and see if Wheels has got our dear friend on the air. Is he there?
He's not, but they still got me on hold, and so I'm going to try to see if I can try his cell phone.
All right. Please do, sir. I appreciate that. Wheel's doing a good job for us. While I am waiting for Richard Manning on this Monday, I want you to give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. If you love baseball, and I love baseball. I mean, I don't care if it's Little League or if it's high school or if it's college or if it's the pros. I love baseball. And last night they had the All-Star Futures game with the 19 and 20-year-old kids that are trying to break into Major League Baseball from the AA and the AAA farm systems. And tonight they've got that world-famous Home Run Derby, and I'm looking forward to that with the All-Star game tomorrow evening. I can't wait. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, not to change your subject or anything, but I was thinking about this immigration thing. Let's just say I don't know you, and I just come to America, and I'm driving down a car that I probably stole past your house, and I see, that looks like a nice place. I think I'll stop there. And you go up, and you are kind enough to knock on the door, and when they do that, you just push your way in and say, I'm here. What do you got to eat? Oh, by the way, where am I going to be sleeping? And they go on and on like this because it's expected of them. In the country they came from, they told them how wonderful America was and how generous we were and everything like that. And now it's come to fruition.
Well,
if it comes to your door, then it's catastrophe.
Well, I'm absolutely aghast, and I use that word aghast. I'm absolutely amazed and aghast that the American public and American taxpayer and American citizens are being hailed by these loony left-wing Democrats as bigots and hate mongers for not wanting to give more for baby diapers, baby food, toys, all this kind of thing at the border, plus pay for medical bills incurred by these people that are here illegally, have the Border Patrol run them to a doctor or take them to a dentist, and we pick up the tab. The last time I looked, as much as I abhor going to a dentist, I've picked up the tab on every single dental appointment, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, it's America freedom, but not free to cheat others.
There you go. Keith, I just got word that my good friend Rick Manning's on the phone. I got to run. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. The president for Americans for Unlimited Government is with us now. Rick Manning, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm sorry for the confusion this morning. It's quite honestly, I don't know why we weren't able to. My staff wasn't able to find me. I was sitting in my office. Here we are.
Sometimes the lost are not really to be found. Anyway, good to have you on the program this morning. I got to ask you something.
Myself to make sure I'm still in a corporeal state, because yeah. So how are things out there?
Well, really good, but I got to ask you this question, and I'm ready to go toe-to-toe and fight with anybody over this. I thought that, and Wheels, we got a little feedback on the line. I thought that the Independence Day salute from this administration back in D.C. was absolutely magnificent. And I'm not ashamed to say this. I said it first hour. When they played the service anthems, whether the United States Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Army, I wanted to cry. I was so proud to live in this country. The flyovers were absolutely fantastic. The wrap-up with the Blue Angels and the Battle Hymn of the Republic. And yet these sleazy, greasy-eyed Democrats came out and denigrated the whole thing. What are your thoughts?
Well, there's listen, anybody who couldn't couldn't applaud, not what they feared would happen, but what actually happened on the Capitol Mall at the Lincoln Memorial with the military salute to the military. Anybody who can't applaud that is just wrong. I mean, they've got something so wrong with them that they really need to take about 10 steps back and totally refocus and recalibrate. There are some, and this is, once again, the Democrats are doing us a great favor in many respects by showing us who they are. There are some that, when they hear the various military anthems, they have no feeling whatsoever towards them. They're just songs. They're just military, they're just brass band songs. And it's a complete disconnection from what you and I associate with part of America's greatness, at least the symbolism of it. And you have no reason to not be very proud of what was done. Spectacular display. I was supposed to be there, and it was raining, and my wife, I've got bronchitis. My wife said I couldn't go, so I had to listen to my wife. But it was the people who were there had friends some people who drove 400 miles to come down to go to it. And they were so happy, even though they sat and were rained on for 6 hours. They were ecstatic that they got the opportunity to do it. What you saw on television back in Idaho is what people experienced on the Capitol Mall, and it was a complete fast heartbeat, proud of America moment that had nothing to do with politics. And those people who can't be proud of America because of their politics that's a reflection on them. It's not a reflection on America.
We have a local wannabe crybaby liberal that writes for our local rag, the Times News, had an op-ed in the Sunday paper, and I'm going to read you a couple of the paragraphs from his article, and I'd like you to respond to it. He goes, quote, "Meanwhile, our president recently decided that Americans needed a refresher course in the devastating strength of our military. To educate us, he ordered up the biggest, baddest show and tell ever. Tanks were parked alongside national monuments, and a great deal of air power flew overhead. Mr. Trump, to quote Shakespeare, let slip the dogs of war on the streets of the nation's capital." And he said, "Call me cynical, but I was underwhelmed." I feel pity for this guy because he's not smart enough to really understand the merit of what was being done.
You know what? There are those. If Donald Trump waved his magic wand and he created full employment, peace in the Korean Peninsula, a potential trade deal with China, and getting the NATO partners to pay their fair share, they would still complain. And this is a guy who was looking for a reason to be mad, and there's some people out there just looking for a reason to be mad. And I don't think there's any real rational conversation that can be had because they aren't capable of being rational. And the sad thing is we see that this is in fact an epidemic that's hopefully a minority of the population, a small minority of the population, but it's a direct result of a failure of our generation to teach people, the younger generation, about why America's great, and we've allowed people to infect them with the concept of that America is inherently evil, and the world would be better off without Western civilization. And that we've allowed that to occur. We've allowed that to occur in our colleges. We've allowed it to occur in our high schools. We've allowed it when we don't say as kids, as you undoubtedly did, and as I did as a child, to stand up, say the Pledge of Allegiance, and sing a patriotic song to start out your day.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be normative, and now that's rejected because we've allowed the left to take over our education system. And until we fix that, the problem's going to get worse. And so you get right down to it from Washington perspective. The single most important thing that we have to do in Washington, D.C., all the stuff we've got to do, long-term for the country, is we have to get the education system right. And unfortunately, when we allowed the federal government to take over the education system, it was the beginning of the end of having the local school board sitting there and saying, yeah, you're going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Now we're going to have to force those local school boards in big cities force kids, many of whom weren't born here, to say the Pledge of Allegiance and to salute the American flag and not any other flag, and to understand that this is our country, not some polyglot that doesn't have a national flag or a national culture, a national history. And we have to force them to teach kids about American history, and do so in such a way that makes it so they understand that Thomas Jefferson wrote the greatest document in the history of the world, apart from the Bible. Okay, because it explained in 56 words what freedom was, and who we were as a country, and it describes why we're great in 56 words. And if you take the second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, and we don't teach that. And because we don't teach that, we spend more time worrying about Sally Hemings than worrying about this document and what it means and going into it. We don't teach people, we don't have them recite and learn the Gettysburg Address. You know what? Read the Gettysburg Address. Just read the Gettysburg, particularly the last paragraph. Is the call to action to preserve the Declaration of Independence. They go hand in glove. And the other kids don't even know what it is, let alone memorize it anymore.
Amen.
So it's our fault.
Amen.
And we have to take responsibility for that. We got to fix it.
That was so well stated. You know, I got to say this. We got about 6 minutes left, and I want you to comment on this. I feel this morning, after I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and started taking notes on various news stories, etc., Rick, I see the left in their evil ploys of trying to twist and turn to where me and others are the evil ones in our society, because we're the American taxpayers, many of which, like myself, are fighting back and saying, I don't want to buy baby diapers. I don't want to pay for medicine. I don't want to pay for the illegal aliens to go to the dentist's office. I don't want to take away from the Border Patrol doing the job they're supposed to do. But I'm the evil one now because I've come out and spoken against this. And these people, these illegal aliens coming in and getting a free ride on my dime, I've had enough.
No, I agree. It's a... but it's even bigger than that. You're because you are, and I'm making an assumption here, but because you're a white, and I know you're male. If you're a white male European, you are viewed as being an oppressor, and as such, places like the University of Michigan require their business people to get a business degree at the University of Michigan. They have to take white privilege classes. Why? Because they want the people who graduate from the third best business school in the nation, when they get into the positions of power they're going to have in industry, to view their job as not being one which is designed to actually make money, have a profit, make money for your shareholders, which is what business is supposed to do. Instead, to turn it into a social justice vehicle. And because of those changes, we now have, corporate America is effectively willing to say that Betsy Ross flag is not acceptable on the back of the shoe. And that, while I'm not a big fan of putting flags on shoes, it's indicative of the bigger problem that Nike thinks there's more. It's in their business interests to step on American history than it is to lift up American history. And, it's up to the consumer to prove them wrong. I don't buy Nike shoes. I don't buy Nike products because I never have. But maybe the younger generation that does buy tennis shoes en masse and sports apparel, we'll reward them. But for those of us who buy stuff for our kids and grandkids, you got a choice of what you're going to put under the tree. You got a choice of what you're going to give them for their birthday. And, don't give them Nike. Give them New Balance.
I'm a little bit more than... I agree with you. I have this question, though, and I've asked this of some others over the weekend. What kind of tie, what kind of bond does Colin Kaepernick, a reject NFL quarterback that really didn't have that high an IQ, that was adopted into a white family and treated very graciously and had the land of plenty given to him, what kind of a tie does Colin Kaepernick have over one of the biggest, largest financial institutions in the world, Nike? I mean, when he speaks, they listen. There's something wrong with this picture.
Well, remember, Nike earlier that week had pulled business from a company, a Hong Kong company that was protesting against China, and because China was trying to effectively take over, consolidate their hold on Hong Kong, and so Nike chose Chinese oppressors over people in Hong Kong, and then they chose social justice wars over America's freedom here in America. So what kind of hold does they have on them? Culturally, they're a left-wing Portland company that needs to die. Okay, and that's what they are. They're not a shoe company. They're a company that sells image, and they believe the image that will sell around the world for them and get them the maximum number of dollars for their corporate bonuses is an image that's anti-American. So the question is, do we prove them right or wrong? And it's pretty simple. I did a cartoon. I had my cartoons do a cartoon last week. It has a Nike shoe, and we call it the official shoe of Antifa. And we just need to brand them as being something that's evil, that can't be in your houses. and your kids are not allowed to have them. Your grandchildren are allowed to have them. And and we need to brand that. We need to put a black mark on them in such a way that they feel a financial pinch, because it's no longer about the soul of Nike. They're gone. The question is, will somebody follow in their path, or will somebody benefit on the backside? That's the question the business analysts will ask, and it's our job to make sure that Nike pays the price by losing market share and losing it dramatically, and somebody else rises up with a gain in market share because they're actually an American company.
You know, I've got a great advertising scheme. We could advertise that Nikes are worn by all the millennials standing on the street corner begging for corporate money, or Nikes are worn by Antifa that can outrun police in a single bound. I mean, you can come up with a lot of advertising. Yes,
you could. It's it's Nike. That's why we did the official shoe of Antifa. It's actually my idea. That's why I like it. But, it was but you know, we have a company that is basically testing a very dangerous water.
Yep.
And that dangerous water is it's more profitable to be anti-American than pro-American while sitting in America. Now, I don't care if a Chinese company is anti-American, but I really, really don't want a company that's sitting in Portland, Oregon, being anti-American. And you know, they use, for all intents and purposes, they use overseas slave labor to make their shoes.
Yep.
And then they sell them for hundreds of dollars, and athletes make lots of money putting their name on them. And the question is, are they going to pay a price or not? And ultimately, it's a marketplace decision. And I feel like I can't do much because I don't buy them, so I can't boycott. You can't boycott something you don't buy.
There you go.
That doesn't really hurt them. But I'm just saying to all the listeners, go out of your way to buy other sports apparel, whether it's Under Armour or it's New Balance, it doesn't matter. Other sports apparel for your loved ones, and specifically knock the swoosh off your list.
There you go.
If your kid asks for it, don't buy it for them.
There you go.
And explain to them why. Explain to them this country, that country would rather make some money off of slaves, and they're against America. That's all you need to tell your kid. Not give it to you to make the money off slaves, and they're against America. And I don't care what NBA star wears them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I felt bad we lost about 10 minutes of our time this morning, but you made up for it, and I really appreciate you. Rick Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government, God bless you, my dear friend. And next week on Monday, tell your office, wave, stand up in the front mirror of the window or whatever, and let them know you're there.
Thanks.
See you later. Thank you. Great guy. Richard Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government. And always look forward to having him on the air. Wheels, please tell Dr. Bustler I'm running a little bit late. I'll be right with him. I promise I'll be right there. I've got to tell everybody about Dino Septic Service. Holy smokes. Great business serving you. And they've expanded to better serve more people in this area with septic tank pumping. Ooh, you don't want to do it. They do, and they do an excellent job. Backhoe services, septic tanks and drain fields installed, septic inspections, sewer and sink drain lines clean, all of this and so much more. The name Dino Septic Service, and believe me, the number is 436-6526 or 678-1638. Fast fare, friendly service with the big truck that says smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Really good folks. Want to also remind you, I told you I'm running a little bit late. I want to remind you, too, about our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Holy smokes, when it comes to the beautification and comfortization of your home, look no further than Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Wow. They are there to serve you, and they've got all the carpet. They're having a closeout on some of the carpets, and a summer clearance on mattresses and recliners. When it comes to recliners, go in and check them out. You got to see which one fits you the best. Stop in today. Great deals for you at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. 459 Overland in Burley. Jeff and the crew waiting right this minute to serve you at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. Holy cow, I can't keep that man waiting any longer. I've got to get him on the air. He's a dear friend of this program, and we say good morning to political policy analyst and economics expert. I had too many P's in that subject, and I finally got past that. Dr. Michael Busler, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Deb. How are you? It's my pleasure to be here.
Did you have a good Independence Day weekend?
You know, I did. As you may know, I live at the Jersey Shore, so it's a big weekend here at the Jersey Shore. It turned out to be pretty nice, a little bit of rain, but we got on the beach, and it was a real nice weekend.
I got to ask you real quick, Dr. Busler. I've heard reports, some of my friends over at Fox News have told me too. Are you really having some problems with sharks invading some of your swimming areas?
There's a shark issue actually up and down the East Coast. They end up tagging a lot of these sharks, so you can see where many of the large ones are. But from Florida up to almost New York, there have been a number of shark sightings, and I think a couple of shark attacks within the last month or so. So you have to be very careful.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there's also sharks on land. They're called Democrats, and they're called political candidates that are running for president, and all of them want to give everything free, wipe away all the student debt. They want to give free Medicare and medical to illegal aliens. They absolutely want colleges to be free. I didn't know we had all this money.
Well, the reason you didn't know that is because we simply don't have all this money. These are terrible ideas that are going to stifle the growth in GDP and really stagnate the economy. One thing that the Democrats have suggested is wiping out about $1.5 trillion worth of student debt. Now, when they say wipe it out, they mean that the government will pay for students' debt. Now, of course, the government doesn't have any money, so they have to take it from taxpayers. The Democrats say they can tax the wealthy to pay for this. The problem is a couple of things. One, there aren't enough wealthy people to cover all that. And two, while it seems politically okay to tax the wealthy, it ends up stagnating the economy. What you're doing here is taking income away from people that have earned it and give it to people who, for whatever reason, haven't earned it, and let them use that income to pay their tuition expense. Now, that slows economic growth because there's no incentive for people to earn more. Those that are achieving, don't have any incentive to earn more because the government's going to take most of what they earn, so there's no incentive. And then for the people receiving the income, there's no incentive for them to earn anything since they get it without earning anything. So what that means is there's no incentive for people to continue to produce and earn more, and that slows economic growth. The other thing is they want to make college tuition free in addition to paying off the student debt, and that, too, is very appealing to current college students. But as I tell them, this will probably be the most expensive free thing you'll ever get. Now, why, they say? Well, I say, look, while you're going to college, taxpayers will pay your tuition. Well, once you graduate and get a job, you become a taxpayer. So for the next 45 or 50 years or so, you're going to be paying taxes to cover somebody else's tuition. Turns out to be a pretty bad deal for you. You would be much better off, and the economy would be much better off, if people looked at the debts, that looked responsibly at the debts they want to incur. And when you do incur debt, you have the responsibility to pay that debt back. Now, there's a number of reasons why college tuition is so high, and we should work on that, too. But wiping out people's debt or paying the tuition for them is definitely not the way to go.
You know, Dr. Busler, let me throw this at you and get your response. I am absolutely livid. I'm teed off at thinking that I would have to just eliminate their debt. I had to work for my college. I had to pay for my school. I worked evenings at 2 jobs, 5 days a week, and they want their jobs or their education paid for by me and basically absolved of any responsibility. What about us? You're probably pretty close to my age bracket. Can't we file for reparations with Maxine Waters and get our money back from college like these kids are?
Yeah, they're certainly not suggesting that. And I'm from the same school that you came from. I had to work as I went through school. I borrowed money, which I paid back. In fact, I went to a school, instead of being a 4-year school, it was a 5-year school, cooperative education. You work 6 months and go to school 6 months for the middle 3 years, again, giving me enough income to be able to pay my tuition expense. So what happens to all of us who paid our own way and borrowed money yet paid it all back? So now they want us to not only pay, having paid ours back, but also pay back somebody else's.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for being livid. The more I think about it, I think the more livid I would become, too.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is a basic question of understanding the mindset of the American public. I know that the news media is extremely liberal, and it's extremely tainted in the way they position the stories to go out in front of the American public. But are we really, as a society, that naive, gullible, and basically dumb that we would ever buy into one of these programs?
I certainly hope not. I'll tell you why the thinking, in my view, why the thinking has changed so much. The economy, prior to President Trump getting into office, the economy went through a 10-year stagnation period. From 2006 to 2016, economic growth averaged a little under 2%. As a result of that, there were not good jobs being created. So a lot of my students graduated. They were lucky to find a good job, those in the last decade, lucky to find a good job. Many of them had to take jobs for which they didn't need the college degree. So they became underemployed. So they're pretty angry in that they have college debt. They graduated, they got their degree, they can't get a good job, and they're very frustrated. So somebody comes along and says, hey, we're going to make things easier for you. Bernie Sanders says, we're going to pay your college debt for you. That becomes somewhat appealing to them. Rather, President Trump is taking a much different view. He's saying, let me get rid of these burdensome and counterproductive regulations. Let me lower tax rates for everybody, and let me set up an environment where the economy is growing. Well, since in 2018, we finally hit a 3% growth rate, and as that happens, there are more opportunities for people. So those underemployed college grads can now find better jobs, more suited to their qualifications at a higher income, and then the student debt won't be so bad. You know, they've really exaggerated the burden of this debt. It's true, it's $1.5 trillion, but it's divided up over millions of people. The average student with college debt has about $30,000 worth of debt. Now, some in graduate schools and doctors and things have certainly more, and there are a lot of people that have less, but on average, it's about $30,000. Well, they give you 10 years to pay it back. So the monthly payment turns out to be about the same as what a car payment would be. Mm-hmm. Now, clearly it's a burden, but it's not an unbearable burden. The reason it feels like a burden is that students haven't been able to get good jobs at good incomes because of that stagnant economy. But things are being changed now by President Trump, and as the economy grows and as these students find more opportunity at higher income, the college debt will not be nearly as big a problem as they're making it out to be.
You know, Dr. Bussler, wouldn't you agree that much of the same verbiage that we've had on this interview for the last 9 minutes could be almost tape recorded and just change the title to be Medicare? I mean, much of the same verbiage responds to Medicare, and those we have to pay for without doing anything, illegal aliens, etc. I don't know about you, but I've paid through the nose because of health issues for me and my wife for years, and to just give it to someone that's not a citizen, that makes me want to cross the line at the Alamo and say that's enough.
I agree with you. The Medicare for All idea would be a disaster. Those of us that pay would have to pay more to cover the people that don't pay, and the people that don't pay get the same level of coverage as the people that do pay. Well, obviously, that's not fair. There's a couple of other real big problems with Medicare for All. The government's going to run it. They're going to have 100% of the market. You don't need private insurance anymore. Now, the problem with that is the government is not motivated by profit. They say, well, that's a good thing. Well, the answer is that's a bad thing. Because you're not motivated by profit, there's no incentive to reduce costs. This business has plenty of incentive to try to get the cost down because it will improve their profitability. It may allow them to lower the price, and in a competitive market, if you can lower the price, you can pick up market share. The government already has 100% of the market. There's no reason to pick up any market share. You already have it all. So what would happen is the quality of care would go down for everybody. The cost would end up going up significantly, and worse yet, without any kind of competition in there, it would tend to slow innovation. So this is a disastrous idea. All it does, currently 91% of Americans have health insurance. So they want to foul up the entire system for 9% of the population. Now, if they think the 9% is a problem, let's come up with a program if you want to deal with them, but don't foul up the whole healthcare system for the rest of the population because you're worrying about 20 or 30 million people. There's 300 million of us who are happy with what we have reasonably. We don't like the cost, but at least the quality is okay, acceptable. We don't want to see costs go up. We don't want to see quality go down, and we don't want to see anybody getting a free ride on our expense.
Yeah, but you just touched on the main theme of my program. I say it every day. The majority of Americans are not being listened to or even cared about today. It seems like our politicians are after the minority, like you said, maybe the 20 to 30 million, all the illegal aliens coming into this country. They're more worried about providing medicine and baby diapers to them than they are the homeless on our streets. How do we change this thing around so we go back and start addressing the majority of people that put these nincompoops in office in the first place?
Well, President Trump is trying to do that. He's addressing what we've referred to over the years as the silent majority. Really, the majority of the population, and they're not activists and they're not very vocal. These are people that go about their day, they do their job, they take care of their families, they do what they're supposed to do, and they don't have time to get very vocal. Now, they do have time to vote, and they do vote, but they don't have time to be vocal. So President Trump is trying to address that by saying, look, let's put the needs of Americans first. Then once we've taken care of the needs of Americans, we can start taking a look at our willingness to help people who are not Americans. But we have to take care of Americans first. You bring up a great point. There's 150,000, I believe, homeless people in the state of California alone. California says we're going to spend $98 million a year covering health insurance for illegal immigrants, and meanwhile they have all these homeless on the street who really are American citizens. Many of them are veterans who need our help. So it gets me just as angry as it does you to hear the Democrats saying these things, and Americans should get in the mindset, as I believe the majority is, of let's put Americans first. Let's get us to the place we need to be, and then we'll start taking a look at other people.
Dr. Busler, one final thought. I'm sure that you probably watched with due diligence the two Democratic debates. Of those debates, with all the people standing up behind the podium, what came as the biggest shock or scare to you when you listened to those people spew out their liberal politics?
So I think it was Savannah asked them, raise your hand, how many of you would provide health care to illegal immigrants? And every single one of them raised their hand, which I found that somewhat as a shock. I understand the extreme progressives would do that, but some of the more moderate ones, like Joe Biden, who didn't do well in the debate, but I thought people like that would not raise their hand, saying, look, we have to take care of Americans before we take care of illegal immigrants in this country. I was shocked by that.
Well, all I can say is that you are always welcome on this program. I guess to ensure your safety and have you back the next time, stay out of the water, watch out for the sharks. Dr. Michael Busler, God bless you. Thank you so much.
And Thank you. Have a pleasant day.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Absolutely a very extremely knowledgeable economics expert and professor of finance at Stockton University in New Jersey, Dr. Michael Busler. I really enjoy having him on the show. Got to get a weather forecast on here, and then we'll take some more of your calls. Weather brought to you this hour by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Hello over there to Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. These folks really, really care. Caller, I'll be with you. Just give me 60 seconds. The very best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, retirement planning, all of this and so much more by a company that's been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
It's going to be a rather stormy day for today, and then we're going to be warming up and calming down as we make our way through the rest of the week. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting isolated rain showers and thunderstorms by this afternoon. Some of these storms could produce small hail, gusty wind, and heavy rain. We are expecting a high of 74, 80% chance of rain showers by this afternoon. By tonight, everything calming down, partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow it's going to be nice, expecting sunny skies with a high of 83, slight breeze out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 56. By Wednesday and Thursday, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the low 90s. And as we look ahead towards the weekend, mostly sunny skies in mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to everybody this hour by The Best. And they are the best of accounting services to you, your family, and your business, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't go away. I want to remind everybody about our friends over to Let's Ride. Hello, Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Oh, they are open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. They've got a showroom so cram-packed full of fun. All the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides and the watercraft. Everything right there for you, along with all the accessories. And above all, they've got a super service department to keep you running. I urge you to stop over and see my friends. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. This is true. This is where the fun is sold. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. Instead of Maxine Waters shooting off a big mouth, she ought to be thankful that somebody came along like Donald Trump and did more for her own race than she ever thought of. She's on the up there. She's one of these types of people that have to be noticed. They accomplish nothing. They just take the benefits and take everything else for granted, and they do nothing for her. She did nothing for her own race.
Yeah. Maxine Waters, and I don't care who hears this, and I don't care who's offended by it, she's nothing more than a bigoted hate monger that absolutely should be voted out of her position and does not belong serving American politics. She is nothing more than a racist in reverse, and I absolutely dislike her to the nth degree.
Unfortunately, we've got too many people like that hate Donald Trump. They're black people, and they don't realize what Donald Trump has done for the black race.
Well, there are many, many, many blacks, and I hate that terminology. I'm just going to use the, I think, more professional term, Negroes in our nation's politics that are smart enough to realize and are very good at articulating what Trump has done and what the government has done for their race. It's unfortunate that people like Maxine Waters are allowed a mouthpiece.
Well, Charles Payne is one we watch quite often.
Yes.
He's really made something out of himself.
Absolutely. A very well-educated, articulate man, but I am sick and tired of the race baiters and haters just turning the turmoil over and over and over in our society. That's how they make their money, and it sickens me.
Yeah, there's going to have to be an overpowering vote to get these people out. So Next time at the polls, maybe we can do that.
Well, you start with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and the rest of them. I have no use for those kinds of people because they are anti-American. They are seeding all the contemptuous digs they can at the American public and our Constitution. I have no use for them.
Well, I call Cortez a C4 mouth. A mouth explodes before a brain goes in gear.
Brain? Are you telling me she has one?
I don't know. I think it might be soaked in alcohol, though.
All right, Tony. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Thank you very much. Calls welcome 436-22... 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I want to remind you, caller, I'll be right there. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh, the very best of life insurance for you, your family, and your business with the health insurance and the retirement planning. Oh, my. Employee benefits. They really know, they really care, and they're devoted to serving you. I urge you to call and make an appointment. 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. They're waiting for your call. Cameron Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I sometimes feel that in order to vote, you ought to be able to pass some kind of test that shows that you are knowledgeable to take the vote seriously. And the reason why I say that is the people who keep voting for Maxine Waters and Loudmouth Bartender and the other folks that don't have a clue that's in office, they're not educated for the simple fact that if they were, they wouldn't vote the way they are. I mean, there's nothing that they're doing with their voting to get them a step up. They're wanting handouts and gimmies, but they're not smart enough to see the big picture further down the line that with all that, eventually the money's going to run out. The rich are going to get richer. The politicians are going to get richer. They're going to get more powerful. And the people who are voting pretty soon are going to be less than serf status. They're not going to have any money, no food, no power, no living. And they think that the people they voted for care. They're out of their mind.
They are nothing more than selfish, self-centered twits. I have no use for these people.
I agree. And so in order to vote, you have to have some kind of common sense, common knowledge of how life really works, or it's for naught. All you're doing is voting themselves back into slavery for everybody, not just the black communities or the Asian communities, but everybody will be voted into slavery. And if they can't be smart enough to see that, I really don't think they ought to be out voting.
Well, I just absolutely, when I look at the likes of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and, like I said, Ilhan Omar and Maxine Waters, they're all on the left, by the way, in case people didn't realize that, and they are nothing more than muckrakers and troublemakers and absolute hate mongers and bigots of their own nature, and I have no time for these people, and I just, I will not step around them. I will step over them.
I agree with you, buddy, and I'll let you go.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it, Riley. God bless you, man. Thanks. Good young man right there. I don't know why in the world we cater to these people. It's beyond me. It is beyond me. To be quite frank with you, Maxine Waters is one of the most despicable, irritating, and just waste of time politicians that we've ever had in the House of Representatives. She does nothing but race bait and hate. That's all she does. She needs to go. There are many, many others like her. And you can go all the way to the list of the 4 women on the Democratic side right now that are creating a new kind of a vengeance against Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Democrats that want to be moderate. This is going to turn into a full-scale war. Mark my words. And in some respects, it might be the best thing that ever happened to see the dissolution or complete denigration of the Democratic Party. But in the meantime, they're doing damage to America. They're doing damage to our Constitution. They're doing damage to you and me as taxpayers. And I don't like these people holding office in this greatest country of the world, the United States of America. All right, what have we got cooking next hour? Gary Goldman, national political analyst from back in Boston, Massachusetts. Yep. The man from Beantown and the Cowboy going to be on next half hour. And then at 10:30, we're going to go to Vicky's and say, how does our garden grow? She's going to tell us at Vicky's Country Garden. Wheels, take it away, buddy. It's all yours. Oh, good morning, and welcome back. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch, and of course, we're brought to you by our major sponsor. That's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you and serving the key word with the best of tires for your driving safety. Also, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Wheels, old buddy, old pal, could we please have this good word for the Silver State Stampede?
Nevada's oldest rodeo, the Silver State Stampede, roars into the Elko County Fairgrounds July 12, 13, and 14. This PRCA-sanctioned rodeo brings you the thrill of pro rodeo riders going head-to-head in one of the world's toughest sports, rodeo. Action kicks off on Friday with a delicious tri-tip dinner for just $10. Old West bronc riding, the Calcutta, mutton busting, PRCA rodeo action, and the always popular Ring of Fear. Dance the night away to the music of the Moonshine Outlaws. And on Saturday, show your support with Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And on Sunday, round up the gang for the Family Day at the fairgrounds for even more rodeo action. Get your advance tickets today at Roy's, the J.M. Capriola Company, IFA, the Boot Barn, and the Elko Chamber Office. The best family entertainment this side of the Rio Grande, the Silver State Stampede. For more information, visit them at silverstatestampede.com.
I love it. What an event, and good people down there. Hey, good morning, and don't forget, to our friends at Patterson's at 421 East Main in Burley. When you talk about good people, you've got to include them in the conversation. Curtis and Lorena, the rest of the staff at Patterson's, your electronics headquarters. Oh, my. At 421 East Main in Burley, they've got everything over there. Complete sound systems and car stereos and speakers. Why, they've got the best of TVs from Samsung, Sony, Toshiba, you name it, it's there. Home theater systems. Why, they've even got video surveillance cameras. All of this and so much more. They're open Monday through Saturday 9 to 6. Oh, yeah, they're closed on Sundays. They need a rest. Patterson's, 421 East Main in Burley, 678-6997. You stop in and see them today. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the phone line, and I kiddingly said the last time he was on the air that he's the man from Beantown and I'm the cowboy, and that's Gary Goldman. Hello, Gary, how are you?
Good, how are you? Happy belated 4th of July.
Well, I appreciate that. Independence Day means a lot to me and my family, and the last time we were supposed to have you on the air, you were someplace at 30,000 feet in an airplane.
Yeah, I had unexpectedly had to head out of town, as they say, but I'm back on solid ground.
Gary, I'm glad you brought up about Independence Day, because I wanted to ask you, I talked earlier this morning to a dear friend of mine, maybe you know him, Rick Manning. He was on my program, and we were talking about how the naysayers about what Trump's Washington, D.C. salute to Independence Day was and what it looked like. I watched it from the start to the finish, and I was absolutely taken aback by how wonderful it was, how patriotic it was, and when they played the anthems of the different services, I absolutely started to cry because of my friends and my family's involvement in those branches. And for the left wing to come out and denigrate and tear apart and cast it into the mud saying it was terrible, I'm really offended by that.
Well, I'm offended as well. It was a tremendous parade. The whole ceremony was tremendous. Look at those on the left. All they do is talk negative, rip apart anything the president wants to do. But when you start ripping apart an Independence Day parade, you got to stop and think, what is really going through their mind? They're ripping apart the country that many of the, especially the presidential candidates, are looking forward to running, obtaining that office. That would be their hope. So, I sit there and I watch that, and I said, what a great day this is for America. Then I listened to, unfortunately, all that negative talk that they put on, and it's just frustrating. But I think that's all they want to do is talk negative and rip apart this country. That's their modus of operandi, and that's what that's how they feel they're going to lead their charge. I think they're going down the wrong road, and I think it's going to come back to haunt them. There's nothing wrong with celebrating this country. There was nothing wrong with that, what the president did. I think it was well overdue that we had a ceremony like that in honor of this country. Why not honor the greatest country in the world, and why shouldn't Americans be proud of it?
Absolutely.
And when I talk to people who criticize it, well, tell me what you're criticizing. And unfortunately, they're just criticizing because they do not like Donald J. Trump. That's what it comes down to all the time.
Well, and where does this stop? I mean, all I see is a deterioration of America, and our young people are watching and listening, and monkey see, monkey do. You know as well as I do that this is going to have an ill effect on all of our grade school, high school, and college students. This is terrible what's happening and forming in this country.
Yeah, we have to get really stop what's going on for the exact things that you just said. Look, if people learn by either reading history and learning great things about this country, they don't do that anymore. Or they learn from example what they see and what they hear. Unfortunately, what they're seeing and what they're hearing is not what is going to promote the type of love and leadership for this country that we should all have and that we need. Because you can disagree with the government, you can disagree with the president, but the lack of love for the country is at times perplexing to me, and it many times just sends me off in a direction that is not a healthy one because I get so upset with it. Look at you and I, we've grown up, we've worked hard. There is always an American dream out there. As I tell all my naysayers, why does everyone want to come to this country if it's so bad? And they never can answer that question for me.
Gary, you travel around quite a bit, and of course you have your weekly talk show, and you've been a political analyst for quite some time. Explain to me, just a poor dumb old cowboy out here in Idaho, how all of a sudden within the last 5-6 years, our American flag could have so much controversy surrounding it by the left, and it's almost been called a piece of cloth that distinguishes itself as a hate monger. This is disgusting to me.
It is propaganda on the part of the left, as you well know. And when you have a mainstream media that grabs onto stories, whether they have factual information on it or not, and whether it be the talk of the flag, look at that. If someone wants to be a victim and they don't like something nowadays, and I think you and I have talked about this, it could be anything. Today it could be the flag. Tomorrow, who knows what it's going to be. But now they have taken the flag. When I hear people say that the flag offends them, my first instinct is to constantly question them. Why? What is it about the flag that offends you? Or, explain to me. In most cases, they cannot explain what really offends them, except that they hear constantly, I'll hear the rhetoric that, well, I heard so-and-so on this news channel, or I read this on social media, or read this online about the flag. Okay, that's one point of view. But have you looked into it further? Have you read what the flag really stands for? And you understand why it's so important to this country? But it's exactly what you're saying. They keep hearing this negative talk and how the flag may offend somebody. And all of a sudden, the flag is a problem. Again, we have to nip this in the butt because every day there's another issue and another comment being made.
Gary,
I do not hold back. When someone says something to me, they're entitled to their opinion, but their facts better be awfully straight and accurate when they talk to me.
Absolutely.
And I have no problem debating an issue, but most of the conversations I have are with people that are ill-informed. Ill-informed people are dangerous people.
It's so well stated. And when you talk about ill-informed or not informed people, my goodness, you just opened the back door on the porch and there she sits in a chair, Ocasio-Cortez. You're talking about one person that at 30 years of age, a former bartender, she couldn't even probably make a whiskey sour, and yet she's leading the Democrats right up to the edge of a cliff and probably going to push them over. What are your thoughts on Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Well, you know, I just wrote a editorial, an op-ed piece that I think the Revolutionary Times, this one about her. Look, at AOC is a very dangerous individual. And it amazes me at times how much traction she gains from the public at large. She says things. First of all, look at, you're a freshman rep. You get in there. You cannot be an expert on the Navy, the Army, Boeing planes, immigration, everything at once, but she says she is. To me, she's nothing more than an actress who's given a script every day to go out and pretend she's a congresswoman.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, whoever is feeding her this information, whoever she's working on, is doing a great job with the marketing and the PR with her. And that's the part that concerns me, because when I talk to people, they'll say, well, you know, what she just said about the detention centers, or what she said about the Holocaust, and that's what my op-ed piece was on, I found it very offensive, personally, and it has no structure to it, but people take it and run, and she doesn't stop. But what concerns me even more about her, never mind the fact that the Democrats don't come out and you know, correct her or put her in her place, basically, when she says some of the things that she says. The quietness on the side of the right, the Republicans and the conservatives, is also alarming to me, because you're allowing this individual to fester. Her thoughts are festering with people, and the more she's allowed to come out and say these ridiculous things and make these ridiculous accusations, like they're drinking out of toilet water at the detention centers, and nobody combats those comments, the lack of that type of pushback allows some people to believe, well, maybe what she's saying is true. Again, I think she's dangerous. I think the Democrats, especially Pelosi and Schumer, you know, worked her up in the back room, probably not thrilled with what turned out in their laboratory, because she's really taking control of that party. She's putting it in complete chaos. I think Pelosi's lost complete control of the party, and it's going to be interesting how far she really goes with this. I am actually this week writing another op-ed to put a challenge out to her, and I'll give you a little insight on this, that I want to meet her in her district, and I want to talk to the people in her district, because everything I've read, Zeb, she doesn't even go to her district, or she does few and far between. What are you doing to help the people in your district? You were elected to help the people in a certain district within this country. Of course, you're going to get involved in national interest issues, but what are you doing in your district? And I think we'll find out that she's basically a no-show in her district. And I'd love to challenge her to that. I'd love to sit down at a town hall meeting with people in her district, because look at what she did to Amazon and the people who were hoping for well-paying jobs in her community is shameful, and I personally don't believe she's been called to the carpet on that one as well. So, in short, I know I went off on this ramble, because whenever I hear her name, I get so frustrated. I really believe in her own right she's a dangerous individual.
Well, okay, but Gary, I think you'll concede the fact I'm about ready to bring up. More like her are already in office, whether it's Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar or even Maxine Waters, but more like her are being groomed to run for political office. And all I see is a party, if they run on the Democratic Socialist Communist Party, is more anti-American, more mudslinging, and I see more dissension and more dividing in this country. What are your thoughts?
Oh, look at the cast of characters that you're talking about. There's no doubt about it that there's a group of individuals, congresswomen, young reps that are very dangerous, and that's what they are running on. They're running on a socialistic/communistic platform, and, you know, it was hard for me to believe that. I believe it was a district attorney in AOC's district that she recently helped get elected, and I'm saying, boy, how could the people in her district help elect an individual that she's supporting, knowing all of the things that she's spewing on a daily basis? But it comes back to what you're saying, Zeb. They are breeding a group of individuals, a next generation that's anti-American, everything we stand for, democracy, the republic, and they have to be slowed down. Now, how do you slow them down? You have to find other candidates as well that are articulate, that can go out there and challenge things that they're saying. The problem is they're saying these on a regular basis. They're not being challenged, not by their, look at, whether a Democrat or Republican, when someone says hurtful remarks that are hurtful to this country, we would hope that they would take the side of the country. We're not seeing that. And that's the part that should concern every American out there, because if this movement goes too far, and God forbid this president doesn't get reelected, we have one serious problem on
I couldn't agree more. One of those problems in the time remaining I want to discuss with you, and that's the illegal, illicit pushing of human beings across our border to come in and basically refer their lifestyle to Gary Goldman and Zeb Bell. We're going to pick up the tab. We're going to pay for everything, their medicine. We're going to take care of their babysitting services. We're going to take care of their clothes, the cleaning of those clothes. And just because they push their way onto our borders, and because we're saying no, we're the guilty ones. We're the hate mongers and the bigots, and I, for one, Gary, have had enough.
I'm all with you. I have definitely had enough. Look, I could drive within 20 miles of our, where I live, and just about any city, go through it and find individuals that need help. American citizens who maybe come across hard times, whether it's unemployment, illness, it could be a number of things. Or even children who grew up with parents that are addicted to drugs, or one family home. That's where our resources should be. If I'm going to spend my tax dollars up, that's where I want it to go.
Yep.
I don't want it to go to the border to anyone who just knocks at our door and says, I need to come to your country, let me in, and you and I are expected to start paying. I'm all for legal immigration, and I always say this. The word left out all the time is the word legal. I'm all for legal immigration. But I'm first here for using our safety net to help the American people and help just about anybody, because, look, there's only so much of the pie left. We keep splicing it. The infrastructure's falling apart. People say, why are the roads and the bridges look like that? Because we have sanctuary cities. We're paying for people that do not belong here. That's not being mean. That's being realistic, and that's being understanding of how your tax dollars should be spent and how money should be spent, and there's only so many dollars. So look, they can call us mean-spirited, they can call us whatever they want to do, but I do believe in my heart of hearts that more and more people, even some on the left here in this state of Massachusetts, which is predominantly liberal, are saying, look, enough is enough. We've got to take care of our own before we start just opening the borders, and we have to change this crazy asylum rule. It's absolutely absurd that what's going on at the border.
Gary, one final thought I want you to elaborate on this morning is, I'm sure that because of your job and my job, both of us probably watched both of the Democratic presidential debates, the first two. And I came away with feelings of fear and feelings of, holy smokes, I don't have enough money in my savings account or anything to pay all the taxes they want for free education, free Medicare for all, etc. What scared you the most as you watched those Democratic debates?
Well, I think, what scared me the most was the lack of any solid platform. The only platform they have is, where can we get more money from? How can we put more programs into place to help, whether it's illegals or just giveaway programs, universal basic income? And the problem is, when I went on the air after the debate and I talked to people on the air, I had callers calling me saying, listen, I can barely make the way my taxes are now, I have to make a mortgage payment, car payment. I'm trying to put some money away for my kids to go to college. If they want to take any more money from me, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pay those amenities in life. And they're really not amenities. They're rights of survival that we all work hard for as Americans. So I think I think we should all be very concerned and very scared, because if the worst ever happens, that one of those individuals gets elected for president, there's going to be such a change in this country, and I don't think it's going to be over time. I think it's going to be very dramatic, because I think they realize the need of whatever they want to conspire and change has to be done rapidly. It will be a different America as we both know it. That's a sad day. That's even sad. It sends some chills up and down my spine, Zeb, when I even say that.
Real quick, I want you to answer this question. I've got 2 minutes left. I thought the debate with Joe Biden absolutely proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Joe is not sharp enough and not on the attack enough to warrant becoming president. He seemed old, he seemed antiquated in his thinking, and he seemed like he wanted to get out of the answering of a question by saying his time was up. I think Joe is toast. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I agree. I think Joe thinks that it's his time, this should be given to him, and he's going to walk into a nomination. I think he quickly found out that that's not necessarily going to happen. And you can be an older individual and be sharp. I've never found Joe to be that sharp to begin with, but as a candidate for president, he proved to me that he's far from sharp. He was ill-prepared. Anyone that's telling you your time is up in a debate when most people are looking to have more time to get their point across, just tells it to you right there. He wasn't prepared. He doesn't really have a platform, and he just wants this job because he wants to put president on his resume.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure Joe Biden's heading anywhere. When I heard the polls today that he'd beat President Trump, 52% to 43%, and the first words out of my mouth were fake news. I just don't buy it. He's not the guy, but he is not prepared. He was not prepared for this debate, and I'm not sure he's prepared to become president of the United States.
Amen. Gary Goldman, nationally recognized host of Business, Politics, and Lifestyles, and like I said earlier, the man from Beantown and the Cowboy. I always look forward to our conversations. Gary, God bless you, man. Come back soon.
God bless. Look forward to hearing from you again. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Gary. I really enjoy having him on the program back in Boston, Massachusetts. Gary Goldman, thank you very much. Oh, we've got to pay some bills. I'll tell you what, mark your calendar, July 12, all the way through the 20th. Why? Because of Oakley Pioneer Days. Oh, my goodness, they're going to start with the 11th annual Bump and Rub car race. That's not a car race. That's chaos. And boy, it's going to be on the 12th and 13th. And then don't forget, on the 15th, they're going to have a moto rodeo. Oh my. The list continues of all kinds of fun with gymkhanas and open rodeos and fireworks and chuck wagon breakfasts. Oh my goodness, 3-on-3 basketball tournaments and a great big Pioneer Day parade on the 20th. Don't miss a minute of this with their theme, The Best Is Yet to Come. Holy smokes, all of this and so much more at Oakley Pioneer Days in Oakley. Oh, my goodness. And don't forget, too, some of the merchants up there that say, come on up to Oakley, July 12th through the 20th, and they include Smith's Cafe at 135 East Main in Oakley. Oh, my goodness. They're open Monday through Saturday, 6:30 a.m. until all the customers are full and go home. Yeah, they make their great big 1/3 burger, best burgers in the county, and ice cold beer, pop, lemonade, tea, everything. Just go on in and enjoy the folks at Smith's Cafe in Oakley. And Speaker of the House, Representative Scott Bedke, he urges you to come on up and be a part of 132 years of family Western tradition at the Oakley Pioneer Days. Woo, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I know Scott and his family will be there celebrating right with you. So be sure and remember Oakley Pioneer Days, July 12th through the 20th. Wow. Right now, we're going to take a little break and send it back over to Wheels at our main studio, and then we'll come back with the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, and we'll look forward to hearing from you with your questions on gardening and harvesting of your crops, whatever it might be. That's coming up right after we take a hard break at the bottom of the hour. I will be right back.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Oh, good morning and welcome back to more of our program. And I was just on the phone fighting with a person, arguing, I should say, it sounds nicer, that those automated phone systems are absolutely ridiculous and every one of them should be destroyed. When you call into a business and they put you on hold to hit 39 different buttons and none of them give you the information that you want. calm down, Zeb. Okay. Want to remind you, Greystone Crossing is just absolutely a great place where residents feel part of a family unit. A 12-bedroom home, Greystone Crossing Independent Senior Living on Alfresco Road. That's 21st Street for you in Heyburn, just 1 mile east of Walmart. What a nice facility. 3 meals a day plus snacks and housekeeping and local transportation, all included in the rent. And I'll tell you what, the most valuable feature of the whole Operation Greystone Crossing is community. You're going to feel just really at home with your new friends and your old friends. I urge you to call Kelly Wiggins today at 650-4979, 650-4979, and set up an appointment to show you around the beautiful facilities of Greystone Crossing. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and maybe this lady can calm me down a little bit over the idiocy and incompetency of having to go through 37 buttons to get somebody on the phone. We're going to have Dirty Knees, Green Thumbs, and Vicky's Country Gardens. Good morning to the lovely Miss Vicky.
Good morning, Zeb. Sounds like you're having a marvelous morning.
You know, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I stopped doing business with a lot of businesses that make you channel your calls through automated phone processing because I don't have time to play their stupid games.
Oh, I agree totally. It's gotten to the point to where you can't find a live person to talk to, so... But maybe them live people don't want to talk to us. Did you ever think of that?
Well, yeah, but you know, to me that's very poor customer service when you get the same tape over and over and over, and you never get a live person. And anybody that says that's efficiency is crazy.
No, I realize that automation is the way to go, but I hate to say it, you and I are just too damned old-fashioned. We just don't move up into the automated world real easy.
And nor will I. Thank you very much. By the way, the 4th of July Independence Day is over, and how did your ride through the parade go for the lovely Miss Vicky?
Hey, we did a great job. We had a lot of fun. We won the Judges Award and the Mayor's Award.
Oh, my goodness.
We did all right.
Well,
bunch of old hillbillies over here.
Well, tell me a little bit about what your float looked like. I didn't make it over. I was out of the area, so tell me about your float.
Well, what we did was, the theme was celebrating our independence the Rupert way. So we just did basically like a backyard barbecue scene, what everybody does on the 4th. We had kayaks in the back of the pickup. We had volleyball nets up. We had the barbecuer going. We had, just a backyard scene.
Oh, my.
That's what everybody does in Rupert.
Well, good for you. Congratulations. I'm honored to have you on the program this morning.
Well, thank you. It was fun. We always have a lot of fun decorating our float and a lot of fun in the parade. Everybody laughs at us a lot, let's put it that way.
Well, I've had that happen to me many, many times, and I don't care. I mean, it's better to be laughed at than not even looked at or talked about at all.
That's very true. That's kind of the way we look at it. So, but yeah, it's over, and now we're into thunderstorm season.
Oh, my goodness. I was going to ask you about that. Last night here, and I'm not exaggerating, I've lived here 50 years, and I've never seen the hail and the rain come down as hard as it did for about 30 minutes. It was something else. How much damage did it do?
Well, it was real spotty. The hail and that was. I haven't really heard too much. Other than I know at our house we had some large pea-sized hail that didn't last very long, but I'm sure it did some damage on some crops and stuff, and I'm sure some gardens took a hit. That hard rain kind of has a tendency to pound things right back down into the ground, but just give them a chance to kind of go out and shake them off and kind of stand them up a little bit and give them a nice little vote of encouragement and see if they can pick up and go on, because we've got more of them today. I mean, and the hard rains and stuff really pound that water down on them. So be careful of your watering from here on out. But we are supposed to hit some 90-degree temperatures, 95, almost 100 by the middle to the end of the week. So watering's going to have to start increasing at that point in time. And your fertilization's a good thing to start increasing on, too, especially on your corn.
Yeah. You know, why is it that people, and I talked to some people over the weekend back east, and they're going, oh, the sky is falling. We're all burning up. Climate change. I said, wait a minute. I've got records right here on every day's log of programs that I've done for the last 20 years, and I record all the temperatures. We're not burning up. We're all in an average weather cyclical pattern.
Yeah. We go through this every year. It's just the way things are out here in our desert area. We do a lot of the thunderstorms and that. And back east, they're always sitting back there cooking. They're always hot and humid, and it's been that way for years. I don't see that it's anything that majorly different. I mean, we have a few months, we may have a few weeks that things get a little out of control, but it's done that for years.
Absolutely. Now, what about the bugs and the pests and the worms and everything else? Are they more prominent right now?
Oh, they're out in full force right now. Everybody's got all kinds of fun and games going on. Cabbage worms are hitting all your ornamental cabbage and your edible cabbages. So beware of that. Get your dusts going before they have a chance to get a hold of anything and do some major damage. Keep water good, and then use your there's biological dust, there's insecticidal dust, and that type of thing that will keep them out of the cabbage, because they can definitely wreak some havoc on your plants and stuff. Aphids are quite bad right now. Aphids are showing up and doing some damage on things. Spider mite is starting to come out with this heat, and when it hits 90 and that, it's going to do. You'll see a lot more spider mite. And those hit roses, leaves start to discolor and things like that. There's different things. Spider mite doesn't work real well on regular insecticides. You need like an oil-based type. We have one that's called spinosad insecticidal soap that's been working pretty good on spider mite, on roses, and on lots of different plants. So different things work for different things. So if you're in doubt, bring your leaves in a little plastic bag and bring them in, and we'll just show you what you need. I have a whole list of a whole little bunch of bags in here that we can identify with. So.
Oh my goodness! Now I got to tell you, Vicki, that I've got my heart and my mind set on delicious sweet corn. Nothing better than sinking your grinners into some buttered sweet corn and sitting back and making a pig and a mess out of yourself. I love it.
So now if you're wanting that, this is the time to do that, what we call side dressing that corn. Corn is a high nitrogen feeder. And so a corn will reach about 2 feet tall and then just kind of stop growing. It just kind of runs out of energy. That's the time to come through with just some plain old nitrogen, just lawn fertilizer. Come right down in beside your corn, not on the corn, but right beside the corn in the dirt. Water it in, and you'll see that corn take off and grow again.
Okay.
Do that about once a month, and you'll have some really good corn.
Well, how time-wise, if the weather patterns stay comparable to what they are right now, maybe hitting the 90s or 80s right in that area, how far away are they from really eating some good corn?
Well, I'll guarantee you the temperatures are going to make a lot of difference. If we hit those high 90s, we're going to pick up a lot of the ground that was lost with the freezing temperatures on corn. Corn grows really fast when it gets hot. And that's why I say have your fertilizer in place, and have plenty of water going to it, and let the heat bring it up. It should catch us up depending on if you planted early varieties or later varieties. But you're going to see we should be pretty much on time with corn this year if we get into those high 90s now.
My. What about lawn care in this heat? I mean, again, the watering situation, etc. But are we going to be seeing a lot of lawns that kind of look like they've drifted off into brown land?
Well, the best time to water is evenings. Then the lawn has that time to absorb that moisture and be prepared for the heat. And you're not evaporating as much water away from them. Don't overwater your lawns in the heat. If you're getting brown patches right now and it looks like that the lawn's dying in certain spots, check for the moisture on it. It's not always a lack of water. It can be sod webworm that's working on your lawn, and then you need to get a chemical down to stop them. As long as in those spots that look dry, if there's good moisture down underneath it, and that lawn starts coming up in your hand real easy, that grass is pulling up real easy, then you've got a bug working on it. Not necessarily, it doesn't do any good to pour the water to it, because that just allows the sod webworm to work all 24 hours a day rather than just at night.
There was a lady that sent me an email, and I'm trying to find it on my desk, and if you've seen my desk, you can understand why we're still in the search and rescue mode. But the gist of the email was that they're putting a new section of their property, I guess, under sod, and she said, is this a bad time to lay new sod, because it's supposed to get so much warmer?
Not as long as you have a good water system. You're fine as long as you can keep that sod wet, and so it can attach down. You're perfectly fine during the heat. You just don't want it drying out. You just don't want to forget it and let it get too dry. It's crucial on new sod to water it at least a couple of times a day. Short periods of water actually works a little bit better than real long periods of water.
Okay.
So if you've got a sprinkler system, set your clocks to where it'll take and water 10 or 15 minutes about 3 times a day, and it should keep that sod good and wet.
Okay. Now it's time for the weekly Vicky's Gardening Tip of the Week.
Well, be careful. This is going to be a week where they're talking high winds, thunderstorms. If you can get any kind of protection on your plants against the wind, that is my best suggestion for you, because it has been doing a lot of damage. And just keep an eye on the sky, and don't be out in there, because the lightning's been hitting pretty close to home around here.
Oh, boy.
So just be very careful. Get your watering done late in the evening or early in the morning. Do your spraying late in the evening, and have a nice glass of iced tea or something for the middle of the day, and sit back and watch your garden grow.
Now, just a minute. Are you going to limit me to a nice glass of iced tea?
Well, I won't limit you. Just a suggestion to everyone. But a nice cold adult beverage is never bad.
A girl. Okay. Hey, tell us if you got any specials or anything you want to recognize over at Vicky's Country Gardens.
Well, we've got a lot of things on special. We've got all of our annuals and stuff are on special. We still have tomatoes and peppers if anybody's lost any. We've got a good selection of trees. Just got in a brand new selection of perennials and stuff. So just come on in and see us if there's something you're needing. We've got everything to take care of your yard with bugs and everything else that we can get rid of for you. So
I got to ask you one other question before I let you go this morning, and this is completely away from gardening in any way, shape, or form, but you and I have known each other for a long time. What did you think when you heard that PETA made an application to Canyon County commissioners to take down the name of Chicken Dinner Road because they said it's offensive to chickens?
All I got to say is there's an idiot in every crowd.
I appreciate that. Oh, God bless you. Hey, listen, I understand we're going to talk to you next week, and I can't wait. Hurry up that corn. I'm hungry. And
we'll do it, Zeb.
All right, Vicky's Country Garden, the lovely Miss Vicky at 185 South 600 West DePaul. You have a great week. Stay dry. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Zeb.
All right. I love that lady. Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens. Oh, my. Let's see what else have I got to do here. Oh, Wheel says the weather forecast. All right, I can do that. Weather forecast brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. I'm telling you, I talk to many people that go over to Scarrow's and get their tri-tips or their marinated pork ribs or all their bratwurst. I talked to a guy Friday, as a matter of fact, that was going over to pick up a great big order of bratwurst to have for a family picnic on Independence Day weekend. Oh, my. Delicious meats from Scarrow's Meats in Jerome. Absolutely. We'll tell you more right after this weather forecast with Gina.
It's going to be a rather stormy day for today, and then we're going to be warming up and calming down as we make our way through the rest of the week. Here's a look at your weather forecast. We are expecting isolated rain showers and thunderstorms by this afternoon. Some of these storms could produce small hail, gusty wind, and heavy rain. We are expecting a high of 74, 80% chance of rain showers by this afternoon. By tonight, everything calming down, partly cloudy skies, expecting a low of 50. Tomorrow is going to be nice, expecting sunny skies with a high of 83, slight breeze out of the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 56. By Wednesday and Thursday, looks like mostly sunny skies. Highs are going to be in the low 90s. And as we look ahead towards the weekend, mostly sunny skies in mid-90s. That's your weather for Zeb Duran.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. And like I said, go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com, or give Don and the crew a call at 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Well, good morning, caller. How are you?
Very good, Zeb. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. What can I do for you?
Well, I got an idea for Canyon County.
Okay.
What they ought to do is give KFC and Chick-fil-A a tax break. Have them bring in both of them right there on Chicken Dinner Road.
You know, isn't it absolutely, with all the things in the world to worry about and pay attention to, that PETA and their illustrious dim-witted minds would find offense at the name of a road that has been in Canyon County for a long time, Chicken Dinner Road. I mean, it's almost laughable, yet it's almost serious to the point where they would even think of doing that.
Well, you know, the problem is, though, there's enough, like Vicky says, enough stupid people around to do something like that.
Well, it's like I heard a guy say on TV a couple of months ago, God must love stupid people because there's sure a lot of them.
They don't take much water either. They keep blooming.
There you go. Blooming idiots. There they are. I appreciate your call. God bless you, man. Thank you. Honestly, one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my life. I mean, Chicken Dinner Road, I've known a lot of people that live on that road and still live on that road. And Chicken Dinner Road, I find nothing offensive about that whatsoever. And PETA was just going, oh, no, why those chickens? They've got personalities, too. We've got to respect the chickens' personalities. Oh, come on. Come on. Please. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Many, many people, too many, in this day and age, seem to overlook the fact that our great Lord created this world and this earth and man for dominion over everything, including what we eat. And I'm just a little bit more than tired of hearing people like organizations of PETA, HSUS, etc., try to come in, diminish, and destroy everything that we're doing. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I could not believe when I heard a Georgetown University professor compare Betsy Ross's flag to the German swastika. I got to admit, when I read this, my fists were clenched and I couldn't wait to finish more. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Georgetown professor Michael Eric Dyson compared wearing the Betsy Ross American flag to wearing a swastika, and equated Nike's decision to put it on a shoe to celebrating the Ku Klux Klan burning crosses. Oh, my. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Zeb. Hey, after the parade the other day, there was a pickup driving around. Had 4C plates on it, but it had a sign that said, illegals are not illegal in a country that was taken illegally.
Well, I don't even give those people any credence, because I'll tell you what, all through history, I don't care if you're talking about Attila the Hun, Alexander the Great, whatever, domination and taking over of other property for the expansion and perhaps betterment of mankind. I just look at people that say that kind of thing. They're idiots that we should just feel compassion that they're so stupid.
And then their other sign said, this is right after the parade, it said, the 4th of July brought to you by the people who keep babies in cages.
That's the
So I followed them in. I followed them into the parking lot just to see who was getting out, and I suspected. But anyway, pretty nice new pickup. But they, stuff like that. Anyway, it's aggravating.
And they put those signs on a brand new pickup, and they live in one of the most affluent areas in the United States with all the food production and everything else, and they're talking with their mouth full, only they don't know what they're saying.
Don't know a thing about what's going on.
Amen.
It's sad.
Amen. I'm so glad you called, and God bless you, and have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much. Oh, frustrating. And it all starts back in our schools as to teaching, learning, and training about how great this country is. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever. Some of the tires they've got on a rebate basis right now, to where you buy them and you can get money back. Hey, I'm telling you what, check it out at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries. But I go back to that word service, and I really want to hit that because they really take care of you. Stop in and see them today. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Trent on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I've got to run. I literally have to run. I've got to take little Ruby to have her health checked out, so we're going to take care of that right now. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:06, where we always start the program by saying, end the program by saying the way things were or the way things ought to be. And the world needs more cowboys. In God we trust. See you tomorrow morning.